Greetings. Frederick Riddle here with another episode of Christian News and Views. This is episode 237, and this is Tuesday. Well, the United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper, has told the Russian delegation to the United Nations their country is risking armed conflict, but that British jets are ready to confront Moscow's planes violating NATO airspace. Russian incursions were a deliberate attempt to undermine the international integrity of sovereign nations and European security, she said. They risk miscalculation. They open the door to direct armed conflict between NATO and Russia. The UN Security Council is meeting over the latest incursion, in which Russian military jets flew over Estonia for 12 minutes on Friday. Moscow denies it. U.S. President Donald Trump has said America would come to the defense of Poland and the Baltic states if Russia were to attack. And the United States, a new envoy to the United Nations, told the Security Council that America and its allies would defend every inch of NATO territory. In the past fortnight, Russian drones and fighter jets have entered Estonia. Wait a minute. Entered Estonian, Polish, and Romanian airspace amid the Kremlin's war on Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has offered Mr. Trump an extension to a nuclear deal between Russia and the United States. And here's the key points of the articles or the article. You're risking armed conflict, Foreign Secretary tells Russia. That's number one. Number two, Trump says U.S. would come to Poland and Baltic states' defense if Russia attacks. By the way, that's because of treaties we have as members of NATO. U.S. envoy to UN vows to defend every inch of NATO territory. And number four, German and Swedish fighter jets track Russian plane over Baltic Sea. Number five, Putin offers Trump extension of nuclear arms control deal. So here's my take on all this. Now I've been around for a little while, and I don't know if they still do this. I don't really follow the young crowd that this closely. But when I was a young man, there was a thing called chicken, plain chicken. And I never engaged in this, but my understanding was and still is that young men, and nowadays it might even be young women, would challenge one another, usually with their cars. They get to the opposite ends of a roadway, then floor the gas pedal, driving down the road, aiming at one another. Whoever blinked and swerved to avoid getting hit was the loser. Now, this is, if you know your history at all, this is sort of like back in the medieval days where men used lances instead of cars. And they get on their horse and they can ride with their lance. This is a huge thing, quite long. Well, you could take the 6 foot man and it would still be higher than when if standing upright would be higher than the man. These were long and they were deadly. And they would come running out. Now they would have armor on and they would have a shield in front of them. And then they come running down and try to hit one another with their lances. And sometimes this led to death or injury. Sometimes people get in some strange and very deadly games, but that's the way I understand it. Well, that is what I think Putin is doing here. He's playing chicken. But this time, it is for much bigger stakes and a deadlier outcome. Now, either he is delusional or he believes the West will blink and back down. Well, that's also delusional. Not going to happen. And so the thing is that Putin is playing a very deadly game. If that's what he's doing, it's a very deadly game and one that he cannot ultimately win. Um, actually, a nuclear warfare, just about everybody loses. Uh, but he would definitely lose. Europe and the NATO countries, and just for the moment, forgetting that America is part of that. If he was to go up against NATO, he would lose. If he goes against NATO with the United States, which we are part of NATO, uh, he would definitely lose. We're still the greatest power out there. There are others that are people keep warning us about not only Russia but China and North Korea. They do have deadly weapons, and they are gaining the means to deliver those weapons. But so far, the United States is still the superpower of all the superpowers. Is the superest, superest, if there is such a word, superpower. And so it's a deadly game to play, and one he cannot win. He's counting on some things happening that just don't. Some people think that he controls the strings on Trump. It doesn't happen that way, folks. I'm sorry to inform you of this. Um, it would it would make you much happier if it was true, but it's not. Yes, he is hard to figure out, and yes, he's tested President Trump, but so far, President Trump has not moved an inch from his stance on him. He has moved in his approach. He has changed his approach. He thought he was dealing with somebody that he could deal with. He's dealt with him in business before, but now he's dealing with him in a much more serious platform. And again, uh, he is now. I would say President Trump now is in the Ukraine's camp. He is committed to it. He wanted to bring peace. He's discovered that Putin's not interested in peace. He's interested in acquiring lands, the rebuilding, the erection of the Soviet Union, if you will. Well, that's it for today. I hope this is maybe some light on, giving you something to think about, to chew on. Where do you feel on all this? How do you feel? What do you think? What is your opinion? Leave a comment. I check for comments all the time. And there's always a possibility that you will comment on something in a way in which I'll say, wow, that's interesting. And I'll bring that into a future podcast. It hasn't happened yet, but it could. And so that is something that is open to you. All I ask of you right now is if this is serving one of three ways or all three ways, I try to inform you, encourage you, and inspire you. If I do that in any sense of the word, then I encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to subscribe to this channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next episode. You have a great day.